Welcome to another episode of Chat Sports Talk. You know, my name's Chad. Take a dive on sports. Welcome to the recap of the Super Wildcard Weekend and NFL playoff action. That's right. 3 days of games have completed. There were definitely some shockers, some surprises, some definitely routes we're not anticipating. And we'll kind of go over how I did in terms of my picks and kind of have a taste of what's going to happen in the divisionals. But before I dive into all that, if you could give me a thumbs up, especially like the content provider. Really appreciate you two guys. We help put this channel out. You can also subscribe. Love you guys review my work, and not me. You subscribe. It costs you a dime. It helps me provide more entertainment value for you. Let's go ahead and look at the wildcard games. We'll start off last Saturday afternoon, Santa Clara, California. 49ers playing host to a very familiar foe in the Seattle Seahawks. Now, of course, I went to 49ers because 49ers are my pick for the NFC. So, of course, I picked them, and they start off early, jumping up to a 10-0 lead, and then Seattle just kicked it into gear that second quarter. They actually had a lead on the Niners. Brock looked a little flushed in that first half, besides that one good drive where he didn't get a touchdown, but things were just not going right for him, and Seattle was doing everything they possibly could, and then just disrupting that defense as much as they possibly can, which they would because they're division of foes. They play them twice a year, so they know them inside and out. And going into halftime, the 17-16 looked like a very good game, and I said it was going to be a good game. I said it was going to be a Robbie Gould field goal, though, to determine the winner of this game. So I was not surprised Seattle was leading. And I was looking for a very exciting game from here on out. But then San Francisco had another opening drive in their second half. Went for a touchdown. Got the lead. And that was it. Brock Purdy was in the zone. The defense shut down Seattle. McCaffrey had over 100 yards rushing. I mean, DK Metcalf was a phenomenon in this game. I mean, Geno Smith was dropping him dimes. Straight dimes. I mean, I think Geno is the quarterback for Seattle. They may still draft one as kind of like a backup. Kind of like, okay, Geno, we know you only have maybe about 3, maybe 4 years left in you, so we got to get somebody in place now in case you go. You may not take kindly to that one, but NFL's a business. You always got to look for the younger talent. But Brock Purdy, he was just Purdy in this game. Over 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns as the 49ers pulled away in the second half, 41-23. They dominated that second half. They looked like the team to beat in the NFC. And they're just waiting to find out who they're going to get in the divisional round. Then we go to that nightcap down there in Jacksonville where the Chargers came to town. And the Chargers came out swinging hard. Jumped up to a 27-0 lead, forcing 5 turnovers, including 3 interceptions in the first quarter. Trevor Lawrence ended up having 4 interceptions altogether. There was a ridiculous turnover on a punt or kickoff that bounced off the head of a Jaguar. I mean, that is just bad luck right there. But Jacksonville was able to score in the winning seconds of the first half, at least making themselves look a little respectable-ish. We go, hey, we just scored. We can keep going with this one. And the Chargers didn't change their name to the Falcons because they coughed up a 27-point advantage, which is worse than Atlanta's cough up. Nothing greater than the Frank Reich comeback from behind victory against the Oilers way back in the day. But Jacksonville just kept ticking away. The defense finally clamped down LA. LA's offense just started to go away from Antonine. He had 100 yards. It was frustrating to see that this team's going there, and you can tell the Chargers were getting upset with the calls. Bosa had a meltdown, caused him a 15-yard penalty because he hadn't thrown his helmet because he wasn't happy with certain calls. and he's definitely gone off on the rails a little bit in interviews, not openly criticizing it, but saying that, if we say something, we get fined, but they can go ahead and make just have a bad call and just laugh about it later. I'm sure he's going to get fined for that one. But the fact that they brought in Khalil Mack to help out that Chargers defense, and they couldn't stop the surging Jags as they just nipped away. Game-winning field goal. Jacksonville comes from behind and knock off the Chargers 31-30, and give me my first loss. But I was not, when I made that prediction with the Chargers winning this game, I said I would not be surprised if Jacksonville won. So no, Jacksonville is a wild card team. This is the team you don't know how to think of it because it's still a young team. Veteran head coach who has a Super Bowl ring to his resume. And he's definitely turned around Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you had that rocky relationship with Urban Meyer, and now he's under Doug Peterson, and he's got him thinking right now. But Jacksonville has a hard road ahead in the divisional round, so we'll see what happens there. And then Sunday, Miami heads into Orchard Park to take on the Bills. And not much love given to Skylar Thompson and Miami Dolphins, including myself. Like, there is no way this team is going to do anything, especially since Morstead was out. So their key running back is out. I didn't think Miami had much of a chance. Buffalo's like, no, please, stick around. We want to make this a game and make it entertaining for our fans. Buffalo started off early, hot. Jumped up 14-0, but then Miami battled back, scored 17 points that second quarter. And it was only a 2017 lead by the Bills. It was unusual. And then the Bills' opening drive in the second half, a Josh Allen fumble that led to a scoop and score, which gave the Miami the lead. But then Buffalo just came back and kind of shut the door on them. Josh Allen had over 350 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, but he had two turnovers. Stephon Diggs, over 100 yards receiving. He didn't get in there, but Gabe Davis was one of the premier targets for Josh Allen, especially in the red zone or getting touchdowns even. Singletary, not much of a factor in the running attack, but if Tua or Bridgewater was playing this game, I think Miami would have won, but Buffalo's able to hold on, beat Miami 34-31 to send them to the division rounds, waiting to find out who they take on next. Then we have to Minnesota, where the Vikings are playing host to the Giants. Minnesota's favored by 3 points. I picked the Giants to win this game because this is a rematch what happened back, I think, in Week 15, where Minnesota had to kick a 60-yarder to win that game. The Giants came out balling. Daniel Jones was phenomenal. Saquon Barkley was electric. The Giants defense shut down mainly the powerhouses of the Vikings offense, except for DJ Hawkinson, who had over almost 130 yards receiving. He's about the only thing that Cousins could throw to. Jefferson's pretty much quiet. Thielen was not much of a factor. Delvin Cook couldn't really get much anything going. It was just a battling back and forth, and the Giants outpaced them, outplayed them. It was 17-14 and a half. It looked like a good game going forward. I knew this was going to be a good game going forward. I knew it was going to be close. Saquon had 2 touchdowns, and the Giants ended up winning in Minnesota 31-24 to set up a showdown with Philadelphia in the divisional round. Well, so another rematch to see how well the G-men go. Then we had the Cincinnati in the jungle where the Bengals playing host to the Ravens. Huntley was now starting. Lamar Jackson did not make the trip to Cincinnati to support the team. He's still injured with his knee, and he's definitely having some issues with the management for contract purposes. So it's probably one of the reasons why he did not go there. with the team, so they decided to support him at home mainly. And Huntley is a very capable quarterback in this offense, but he's no Lamar Jackson. Lamar has extra little that gives this offense something going, but Huntley definitely has his capabilities of doing what he has to do with this offense. And the Bengals struggled early. There was a 10-9 halftime lead by the Ravens, but Cincinnati was able to come out on top, and there was actually it also came down to basically the fourth quarter. I mean, it was 17-17 into that final frame. Huntley was like pretty much up to 2, tried to jump over the line. This was like a goal line stance, basically. Trying to jump over the line, extend the ball out. They got punched out. And a 98-yard fumble return for a touchdown by the hometown hero. Who had, as soon as I said that, I was like, wheel out the oxygen for this guy because he is gassed. He scored pretty much the game-winning touchdown, beating Baltimore 24-17, sending the Bengals into the second round. They get to take on Buffalo because Jacksonville gets to go to Kansas City. But the Bengals definitely had some issues there. Their offensive line looks pretty bad right now, once again. But Burrow's so quick to get rid of that ball that makes it a little difficult to try to contain him. And he's getting better with deciding, okay, when to take the sack, when to throw it away. So Cincinnati is still a very dangerous team. But we'll see that game in Buffalo and see how that one plays out between those two. But it should be an epic showdown. And then Monday night. Whoa. Let's set the stage for this one. Tom Brady never lost to the Cowboys. Tom Brady's never thrown an interception in the red zone all season. Dallas hasn't won a road playoff game since the last 8 times back in the 90s, the last time they won the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott has thrown a pick 6 in the last 3 games. Dak Prescott has 15 interceptions in the past 12. He's also thrown, I think, an interception at least in the last 8 games, which is a record. I mean, there are so many things pointing towards Dallas being bad in this game. In Tampa Bay, coming from behind, that's been their MO. Even though the record's pretty bad. I mean, 8-9. Played in a very weak division, which kind of helped them win the division. If they played anywhere else, they would not even be considered for the playoffs. And Dallas was barely favored in this matchup, and I went with Tampa Tom. Because if I didn't go with Tampa Tom, he would have won. Dallas came out with a whole new game plan. They ran the ball. After the first 2 drives kind of went inept. The Tampa Bay defensive line was having a field day back there. They decided to start running the ball. Of course, when you run the ball more, it means then the defense will start sneaking up and you can do the play action. And there was a lot of play actions in this game that were just phenomenal. Schultz became the number 1 target for Dak Prescott in this game. Dak had 0 picks in this game. 0. He was just doing everything he could do. He actually ended up with 5 touchdowns during the night. The only bad thing you can go about this is the kicker. Missed 4 PATs. 4 of them. I'm like, it's just one, okay, yeah. Put a little extra umph in there. But I know the 3 that I saw, because I didn't saw the 4th one that he missed. The 3 that I saw pushed it right every single time. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Even Dak was getting a little upset with him. I was like, really? I mean, it's just leaving off 4 points off of there, especially since I think they missed the combined scoring for points. I think they were down by 1, and they left 4 points off the board. So that's going to make the gamblers happy on that aspect. But this was just a straight up ass whooping by the Cowboys. They went to Tampa and made a statement. This is the Dallas team that everyone was fearing. If they play like this, they are dangerous. But that's the problem. Dallas is not consistent. But regardless, I mean, Dak threw for 4, ran for a touchdown as Dallas destroyed Tampa Bay 31-14 to move on to divisionals as they go out to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers. And that should be a huge showdown between those two. And see if the 49ers can knock out Dallas once again for a back-to-back takedown, which hasn't happened since the Cleveland Browns did it back in the old NFL days before the merger. But, definitely some interesting matchups in here. I lost 2 of these games. I lost to Chargers-Jaguars, but I wasn't surprised in that one. So really surprised that Dallas came out swinging like they did. If they continue this momentum, they're definitely going to be a hard team to beat. But that showdown with the 49ers probably will determine who's going to win the NFC. And let's look at that. There's 3 NFC East teams in the Final Four for NFC. What the hell is that? There's no Green Bay. There's no Tampa Bay. Minnesota fell flat. It's shocking to say, but there you go. I ended up going, like I said, 4-2 in these games. Wasn't surprised by one of them. And we'll see how I do in the divisional rounds. I'll get that video out later on this week. And just let me know down below which game surprised you the most. Are your picks still in for the Super Bowl? Just let me know down below. Once you're down there, you can also share this video with your friends and family, or it helps promote this video out. So you can also hit that thumbs up once again. Once you subscribe, make sure you click that bell icon and turn on your notifications and let you know next time I post any more content on my channel. And I will see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.